Live from the chicken wing capital of the world, Buffalo, New York. You're listening to the Childcare Bridge podcast, your source for the best tips, tools, and tactics on how to market and grow your childcare center, ensuring total domination. Total domination. This is the Childcare Bridge, and this is your host, Michael Tasner.
Lost enrollments, lost opportunity, friction. In today's episode of the Childcare Bridge, I want to talk through one area that I see causing concern, causing issues, causing you lost revenue almost every single day. Now, while there are a lot of different things that contribute to you potentially not getting an enrollment and or you potentially losing a family that is already enrolled, there's this aspect of friction that is occurring whether you know about it or not. So the way that I was able to kind of get to the bottom of this, I won't even say situation, but really analyze the data. So I'm all about looking at, obviously, cost per enrollment, how much can we acquire enrollments for, what happens when a family leaves, why are they leaving, so attrition, if they're not aging out, for example. And I've been noticing over the last couple of years that there are more and more withdrawals and more leads that get very close to the finish line and then they don't cross that finish line. Now, families are definitely looking for more options than they ever have before. They've got more choices than they have ever had in history. There's so many different big boxed brands and there's so many variations of care. I mean, it's pick your flavor. Whatever you feel is going to be the best for your family. And maybe you feel that something is going to be the best, but then you go and test out this. Or, well, I never would have thought Reggio Emilia, for example, would be something that would be good for my family, but we went and took a tour and learned more and looked at the data, and wow, we're going to go down that path. So there's so many options. That's not where I wanted to focus our conversation today. And more so, some of the little small hinges that can swing a big door to help you. What I want to talk through is, where is there friction in doing business with you? Now, this could open up Pandora's box because we're going to talk through some of the biggest friction points that we've seen. We just finished a huge survey to all of our childcare clients to get this data. And there's going to be a few that, depending on what camp you're in, you're like, Michael, I'm never going to budge on that. But I at least want to bring you the data, because the chances are pretty high that there are a few of these on this list that you're like, geez, I didn't even think that was a point of friction. And we have two completely different areas. We have the friction points in enrolling. So that's one aspect. And then we have where and is there friction then after they've enrolled. The easiest way for you to figure this out without me having to give you all the data is through secret shopping. Secret shopping. Now, you have to make sure that you don't lead someone down a path for secret shopping that gives you the answers that you already want. You need to hire a neutral party or someone that doesn't really know much about you or your centers to go in and take a tour, call in your phone number, fill out a form on the website, message you on social media, go through the process of looking at enrolling. And what I'm looking for them to do is to give you feedback to any friction points. Now, what's really been pushing this friction aspect is that as certain ages, so there's all these different generations, Gen Y, Gen X, Gen Z, and the habits of those generations are very, very different. The style of these people is very, very different in terms of how do they like to be talked to? How do they like to do business? How do they like to enroll? And one of the big things that's been continuing to increase is all things virtual. They don't want to pick up a phone. So if you're saying, well, we want to build a genuine connection over the phone first, and you're taking that data with, well, during the tour process, they might not want to talk to us on the phone. That's going to be a point of friction. So your step one is to have at least one, if not two, people go through each of your locations and give you feedback. But what I'm looking for them to do is to start all the way back at the beginning. I don't want them just to call in and schedule a tour. I want them to ask whoever on your team is answering questions before they do get scheduled. You might give them a few questions to ask, but they should also have some of their questions to ask. And you want to see, can you stump them? And you want to have them just be taking notes. How is their tonality? But I'm looking for any friction spots. So, for example, one friction spot could be they're calling up and it's 5:30 and they're not able to get somebody on the phone. So, well, Michael, we're closed. It's 5:30. Okay, great. I want them to jot that down. I want to see where there is friction. Now, friction also then ends up combining a little bit with how easy are you to do business with. Unfortunately, as things get faster and faster, more fear, like more attention being scattered in a million places, most of the new families, most of your new buyers, so to speak, these new enrollments, they don't want to work to do anything. They want things spoon-fed. And I know that my habits have also changed. Why would a business be closed at 5:30? What are you doing for the working families? If you're literally trying to drive enrollments so that the parents can work or parent, knowing that they have a job, why couldn't you look at extending your hours or looking at having a call center that answers after hours calls that is still trained? So I'm looking for someone to secret shop the calls, fill out a form on the website, gauge how long it takes to get back to someone, fill out that form on a mobile device. So you're going through, but we're looking at how to get that tour scheduled. Is there any friction? Now, in the survey that we had sent out, the ease of scheduling a tour was one of the number one things that came back. So we surveyed all of our clients, and then we surveyed thousands and thousands of families. Most families wanted to be able to schedule a tour online without even having to talk to someone. They might be sitting at their computer at 10 p.m. They want to schedule a tour that fits them. So that's one piece. Now we get to the tour. Is there any friction? The number one thing reported back from parents was the lack of appropriate times for tours. Thinking again, working parents. What if they can't take off half a day to come in because you're telling me that you're only willing to do tours at 11, 12, or 1 o'clock on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's it? And you wonder why you're not getting the enrollment numbers that you want and need. You wonder why the tours aren't converting because there's all of this friction in the process. You have to make it easy to do business with you. And in this first case, and then we're going to pivot over and we're going to talk through making it easy to be a family with your center then. But you've got to look at all of the potential friction points. Scheduling a tour, calling in, sending text messages, ease of scheduling, the timing of those tours, parking. If you know that you have terrible parking, that's going to be a friction point. So if you already know that, why are you not fixing it? Why aren't you getting ahead of it? Well, hey, just so you know, when you arrive for your tour, you're going to pull in here. And if you want to drop someone off, you can, but the parking lot is right over here. I'm attaching a map, starring it for you. The reason behind that is that we're gated here and we don't have any extra whatever it is, you have to look at all of those friction points and eliminate as many as you possibly can. Make it easy to enroll. Make it easy to say yes. That final friction point, when you send crazy amounts of paperwork for them to fill out, why can't they do it digitally? I know it can be done because I do it at every one of my centers. Why can't they sign it electronically? Why can't you just literally email them a link? Make it easy, make it frictionless. Now, when they enroll, okay, great. So we overcame all of that. When they enroll, you need to have someone secret shop you that is a current family. Now, picking that family is a little bit trickier. Maybe it's someone you have a little bit of a relationship with. Maybe you offer them a gift card or something like that. But really, you're looking less for the secret shopping and more for just candid feedback. So often what we'll do is the first 30, 60, 90 days, and then every 6 months thereafter, we will survey all the families with very specific questions. The reason that you're looking for very specific questions so that you have kind of statistical significance, big phrase, because if you're asking different questions every time, there's no significance. If I'm asking on a scale of 1 to 10 how happy you are with your family being at our center, and then a month later I say on a scale of 1 to 5 how likely are you to refer our center, and then the next month I say on a scale of 1 to 7 what would you rate your satisfaction? There's no significance there. Like, they're all different questions. So we ask the same standard questions, which we're trying to get a net promoter score, but then we ask a lot of open-ended questions. How could we make your life easier? What could we do to save you time? If you ran our center, what would you change? So we ask these open-ended questions, and if you're afraid of getting long answers, then don't ask. But I want to know all of the potential friction points that they are encountering, all of them. Well, we have an issue once a month with billing. It seems like every month they put us in at this age and really that was wrong. They had to correct it, but every month I have to look at the invoice, double check our bank statements, email the director, get a credit. It's a whole big thing every month. Okay, great. We need to fix that friction point. Well, I hate that you only take cash and check. Why wouldn't you take credit cards? So you're gathering all that feedback to see, are there any friction points that are obvious that are coming up time and time again? Now, where I said the whole controversial piece, usually the friction points, if you put yourself in the working family shoes, and you're obviously a working family as well, it's around pickup and drop-off times and holidays. Some centers close for a lot of holidays. Now, traditionally, these are the home-based centers, which normally don't listen to this podcast. You're still have a business, but we're focused on the growth-minded childcare center owners that have one location and wanting to have more, or you have more now and you want more and more. But often, I mean, I've seen some where there's tons and tons of vacation and holidays. Well, if everyone isn't getting Christmas Eve off, which I think everybody should, do you have a plan for that? Or are you at least letting them know ahead of time? And if everyone says, well, a friction point is Christmas Eve, I have to work every Christmas Eve, and then we have to hire a babysitter, what can you do to then solve that friction point? Whether it's you have care for some families and it's an additional fee, you have something else set up, how can you reduce friction? The longer that you can have a family stay with you and reduce your withdrawal percentages due to things that are in your control, so you want to reduce anything that's in your control. You can't reduce when they age out and they go to kindergarten or first grade. You can't solve that. But the more friction points you can eliminate, the better. From drop-off and pickups and timing and billing, communication. Look at all of them, get candid feedback multiple times a year, and you will continue to improve. Make it easy to do business with yourself. Make it as frictionless as possible, and you will only continue to grow. As always, questions, comments, thoughts, I'm here. If we can help you in any way, localchildcaremarketing.com. Please feel free to reach out. Michael Tazzer signing off. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I'll see you next week.